Levi Stadium just finished up its 12th season of existence as the home of the San Francisco 49ers. She attended high school in Kawasaki, a city of 1.2 million in the greater Tokyo area. And then Yamada pursued her next step in volleyball, headed to Central Wyoming College here in the United States. Today, there's little left to show of what was once here. No goalposts, no diamond, no roars of the crowd. But for Candlestick Park, Bay Area sports fans will always have those memories forever. A couple of eye surgeries and now having to deal with some new vision and wearing the goggles during the game. What has that adjustment been like playing today?
It's been great. I've adjusted pretty well to it.
You're talking about these guys' stories, some of these guys that are at this tournament as well. Now you get to play with them, play some golf, a little bit of a relaxed atmosphere. What is that perspective like for you to come out here and just talk it up with the guys?
It's the number one reason why I'm here.
Own the journey, own the messy, and be very proud of yourself for taking risks, because if you don't bet on yourself, what are you going to bet on?
Women have believed in themselves over the years for the ability to work in sports. And today is National Girls and Women in Sports Day, many of them here in San Francisco covering Super Bowl 60. Lots of progress has been made over the years in terms of women visibility.
As you look around here, you'll notice there are women everywhere.
Right.
I can't recall the last time I was in a room where there were not other women.
I tricked my mom when I was in like 3rd grade, and I told her we were going to soccer tryouts, and it was actually football, because I wanted to be the quarterback. And my mom and the coaches were like, you can't do it. So to be able to see women in the Olympics be able to do flag football is amazing.
Who you're marketing to is not just one gender now, right? We talk about it a lot within sport. It's not just, oh, I need more women and girls in sport. I need young boys to see that women and girls can be officials, they can be coaches, they can play, and they can be whoever they want to be.
Some of these trends have led to the second year of the girls' flag football high school showcase during the week leading up to the Super Bowl. Even 49ers Hall of Fame wide receiver Jerry Rice supported the girls on the gridiron. With a lot of eyes glued to this new age of women's sports, there's still lots of work to be done to create openings.
The ability of accessibility. And I mean that in the sense of having the opportunity to be considered, to have the stage to live on, and to have the viewership, the community, the support.
Ownership is one of the biggest things that I'd like to see. I love seeing more female owners in the NFL. And when you have that, it allows for some bigger conversations to happen.
Many discussions will take place here this week on Radio Row, and an often underappreciated topic, women involvement in sports. Reporting from the Moscone Center here in San Francisco, I'm Nico Horning, Newhouse Sports. Georgia Tech, run by Michelle Collier, the head coach in her 12th season. Also former ACC Coach of the Year in 2019. She is from Brazil, and quite a bit of her coaching staff is also from Brazil, including Claudio Pinheiro, the associate head coach, who also coaches the Brazil national women's team and has had a couple of gold medals under her belt. So this is not only a very international team on the roster, but the coaching staff as well, having a big influence there from South America into Atlanta. Georgia Tech by 4 out of the timeout here in the first set. Off the block, and a kill awarded to Deandra Pierce, one of the non-international players on the roster for Georgia Tech, the grad student from Austin, Texas.
It's been her first couple of seasons at UT. Actually has a ring, won a national championship with the Longhorns. Didn't play in that season, but still got to soak in a lot of experience from some of the best players in the country and world.
Also has one of the most experienced tenures against Syracuse. She's faced Syracuse 3 times. After a high-powered kill by Sawana Leia, she's been really impressive here in the opening set, Spencer.
She has a couple now off the slide and just taking it right down the line. Not a lot Velez can do with that.
Blocked. And Pierce tried to stay with it, but couldn't. You mentioned that national championship with Texas for Deandra Pierce. She's faced Syracuse 3 times to go along with Eloise Suarez. And Pierce had 10 kills against the Cuse last year, 6 the year before, and really was a big transfer pickup at the time for Georgia Tech, even though she did not play for Texas that season after Skylar George comes up with a service ace.
And that's a great target from George. Got a little help off the tape, but when you pride yourself on aggressive serving and you target just the top of that net, that'll happen.
Backs it up with an error. George all around, though, a much better start and performance so far than she'd had last time against Georgia Tech in last year's game. 0 kills, 4 errors for George, but she's responded so far in the opening set.
And Georgia Tech may be a little bit of a stronger team at that point in the season last year. They were the 15th ranked team in the country. Again, just battling to try and stay in that receiving vote spot this week.
Leia, another kill for Syracuse. Number 5 for her.
She's just executing well right now. I mean, Coach Bake talked about how against Clemson they didn't quite execute as well as they wanted. She gets the one-on-one matchup there and just takes it right to the back row.
UC Irvine, the first 4 years for Leia, grad student here at Syracuse. Off the block and a point for Georgia Tech. Leia, someone who's been impressive so far for the Orange. Had different roles at UC Irvine. Wasn't always a starter, and Coach Gonachratnam was also excited about her because of the maturity and for her to use that time to grow as a player, carried her into Syracuse, and now she looks more prepared than ever here today. Maeva and Ortiz and Harris-Waddy were going for that one. Some miscommunication there for Syracuse, and those are some of the errors that you just can't really afford to have here against Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it all comes back to execution, right? I mean, Taya Maeva, of course, is very stable, a great, consistent setter, but those uncharacteristic mistakes certainly come back to bite.
McLaughlin, dug out by Laura Bialeski. Leading point scorer for Syracuse, Nathan George, averaging 11. Again, had that 17-point outing in Atlanta, team high 5 assists as well. Also was really good at the line, closing out that win for Syracuse as he knocks down the second. Had 4 free throws in the final 30 seconds and went 10 for 10 from the line throughout the game. So he's 1 for 2 so far, and it's 2-1 Pitt about a minute into this first half. Some full court press for Syracuse, but Pitt brings it up. It's DeMarco Minor crossing the midcourt line for the Panthers. Minor, a big 3-point threat, transferred from Oregon State, along with Nate Kings. They were on the same team last year. William Kyle with some good defense picks it off at the left wing, and he's going to wait for his team to get back in action. Donnie Freeman controls for the first time at the top. Nate George slings the pass near corner. Starling tries the 3. He's got it. J.J. Starling with the first 3-pointer for Syracuse of the day, and the Orange take their first lead. It's 4-2, a minute and a half into this first half as the ball is stolen on the pass of the midcourt line. Kyle bounces his way and slams it down. William Kyle puts up a poster here in Pittsburgh. 6-2 Cuse, nearly 2 gone by in the first half.
Cameron Corrin, watch your head. William Kyle's coming down the lane.
What a great read from Kyle at the left wing. George nearly stole the pass again from Pitt. Witherspoon almost had a turnover. Instead, it's Corrin going inside the free throw line. Gives it back up top to the right wing for Witherspoon. Pass to Minor. Tiptoes his way through the paint. Gets it back to the right wing. Corrin stops his momentum right by the hoop. Flips it up. Rolls off the rim. Rebounded by Donnie Freeman. He gets it up ahead to Starling. Syracuse quickly ahead. Pass to Nate Kings. Short corner at the near side, and he thought he had George back in the corner. He took his spot, but he was instead on the left wing, and the ball goes out of bounds. So Pitt takes over.
Syracuse really looking to push the tempo early.
6-2 Syracuse lead. 2.5 gone by here in this first half. That Syracuse defense with a couple of steals so far, best in the ACC, and they've shown it early on. DeMarco Minor at the left elbow, almost falls backwards, gets to the far wing for a 3-pointer from Cialeppa. It just goes a little bit too strong off the back heel. Rebounded by Starling. The guard quickly ahead, shuffles his way to the right wing. Throws it back up top to William Kyle, who hands it off to Starling. He comes around to the near wing, gets it to Nathan George. Works his way straight away. George, screen set by Kyle, goes to the right elbow. George back up above the 3-point line. Tosses it inside the paint. Kyle against Dunning, and Kyle lays it up off the glass. It falls, and Syracuse has an 8-2 advantage 3 minutes into this first half.
Syracuse got the switch it was looking for. Kyle with a 3-inch height advantage over Dunning Jr. Easy to put it up and in.
Pitt scored first. Syracuse 8-0 since. Witherspoon over to the far wing for Cialeppa. Spins his way around Freeman. Puts it up. A high arcing layup. Misses. Rebound being fought for. The ball rolls out of bounds. It stays Pitt basketball as it goes out of bounds at the baseline.
And even though that doesn't go down as a block for William Kyle, you can tell he's altering every single shot on the interior.
Minor inbounds it. Cialeppa has it straight away. Witherspoon controls on the right wing. A foul is called away from the basketball. And it's going against William Kyle. So first team foul for Kyle and for Syracuse. So each team has a foul. About 3.5 into this first half. 8-2 Syracuse lead. Inbound again for Pitt. Goes to the far side for Witherspoon. Turns the corner. Spins around inside the paint. Again strong on the shot attempt. And the rebound ends up in the hands of William Kyle, who leads the team averaging 8 on the season. Nathan George dances his way through the paint. Kick out pass to the near wing Kings. He tries a three. That's too strong off the back heel. And it's rebounded by Corhen and the Panthers as they push ahead towards the right hoop. A lot of good looks from both sides, just a little bit too strong either way. Nico Horning, Max Gifford with you at Upstate Medical University Arena halfway through the second period with the Crunch of the Comets tied up at 1. Dylan Duke with goal number 17 on the power play for Syracuse. And he evened things up about 5 minutes ago. Face-off just outside the Utica zone. It's won by the Comets, and Addison controls for Utica. Gets it to Chalowski, and it bounces into the stick of Petronero. Up to Geeky, and now Furry into the offensive end for the Crunch. Allard at the left circle, and Furry as well. Furry finds himself with the puck right at the goal line, and it ejects over to the far corner for Tristan Allard. Spins around with Chalowski, and the puck comes back towards the near side. It's picked up by Addison for Utica, the alternate captain for the Comets, and he shoots it diagonally across to Xavier Ferrant over the far side. Sets up Allen into the slot. He lost it, and it's stolen by the Crunch. Gauthier clears it for Syracuse. Ferrant had a nice opportunity there in the slot, just couldn't finish it and corral the puck. Addison twists around again. Former All-Star with the Iowa Wild about 5 years ago. Had a couple of assists last weekend in Bridgeport. Comets ended up losing that game, but they are 5-3, 1-1 in their last 10. Crunch have only scored 3 goals in 3 games coming into tonight. Jacob Peltier at the left circle on the offensive end. Tenorti shoots it, and it ejects off of Dawes, high up into the net, and out of play.
And all 3 of those goals were against Laval a week ago.
Yep.
With the exception of the 1 goal from Dylan Duke tonight. So
right.
4 goals in the last 3 games, but it's 1.5 games, 3.5 games, if you will.
A couple of times the Crunch have been shut out, both for the first time this season. And a bit of an inconsistent offense. Finally some rhythm here in the second, thanks to Dylan Duke on the tip. Geeky wins the face-off for the Crunch. Comes out to Tenorti at the left point, shoots it across the zone to the far side for Sampson, and Utica gets the clear. Geeky will go down and chase it for the Crunch. 8:35 to go in the second period. It's 1-1 between the Crunch and the Comets. Abruzzese at the left point. Sends it right past Peltier. It bounces off the far wall. Peltier spins and throws it towards the net. And it comes back up to the left point to Norty. Back down to the slot. Another shot. They score! The All-Star Jacob Peltier. 18th goal of the season. And the assistant captain for the Crunch gives Syracuse its first lead of the night. It's 2-1 Crunch with 8:20 to go in the second period.
I'll tell you what, Peltier was just licking his chops on that far post, and Nick Abruzzese gave him a perfect backhanded pass right in the slot. He very well could have taken a shot, but what a selfless play by Abruzzese to get it over to Peltier to bury it home and take the lead.
No doubt. Peltier was wide there and got it up and over Dawes for the second goal of the game for the Crunch, second of the period. Duke on a power play, and now Peltier scores for Syracuse. Crunch have it back in their offensive end. Speaking of the first goal scorer of the night, Dylan Duke sends it up to the right point. And Wyatt Newpower bounces it down low to the goal line for Spencer Kirsten. Winds around the far circle. Along the far boards, twists, shoots it towards the net, and Dawes pounces on it for Utica. With 7:40 to go in the second period, the Crunch lead at 2-1 over the Comets. Syracuse is out shooting Utica